It's Somerset.
No Reardon.
Having played and coached and so on, the chairman, after we'd stayed up, asked about would I like the job, and what I've seen here with both facilities and the players that I've played with the last few weeks, to me it looks like it could be a good future.
Because Neil brought him in several weeks ago, we've been able to work with him, get to know his style, see how he works with players, how he deals with situations, and I'm fairly confident. I mean, there were another 5 applicants for the job, and Don, some of whom are experienced managers, but Don, in my opinion, is head and shoulders above them all.
The girls have been through a handful of different managers in recent years, but the apparent lack of job security doesn't seem to worry O'Riordan.
I felt a 2-year contract was in order, and the chairman went along with that. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's a dream for me to get a job in the Football League, and I'm glad it's at Torquay United.
Tomorrow, the girls will announce their retained list for next season. Then the difficult task of building a successful Division 3 side will begin.
Well, both Whiston and Daniels had a torrid time during Saturday's Devon Bowl defeat by Torquay. Torquay took the lead after just 14 minutes. With the home side unable to clear the danger, Tom Kelly and Dwayne Darby both had shots charged down before the ball eventually found its way to Mark Sale. United continued to dominate, but it was Exeter who grabbed an equaliser 5 minutes before the break. A good build-up this time down the right from John Brown and Stuart Storer, and it was left to Ronnie Jepson to control, turn and shoot. Torquay's second-half winner came from new signing Ian Hathaway. With the City defenders appealing for offside, Hathaway ran clear and sidestepped Fox before scoring. So, a well-deserved 2-1 victory for Torquay, their first win at Exeter since 1987. And we'll kick off tonight with Torquay United. But first, let's take a look at their match against Plymouth Argyle to decide the Devon Bowl champions of 1993. Well, Plymouth's new signings, Andy Comyn and Wayne Burnett, both made their Argyle debuts last night. It was a fairly quiet opening to the game, but it sprang to life after 27 minutes when Torquay won a controversial penalty. Tall striker Mark Sale was brought down by Keith Hill, and despite the Argyle protest, the referee had no hesitation in pointing to the spot. But for the visiting supporters, justice was done when the usually reliable Tom Kelly blazed the kick high and wide. The winning goal came midway through the second half when Argyle skipper Steve Castle headed in Paul Dalton's free kick. So a 1-0 victory for Plymouth. Well, time now for the first of our previews of West Country prospects for the coming season. Tomorrow, we'll take a look at Exeter City, and on Friday, it'll be Plymouth Argyle's turn. We start tonight with Torquay United, and as Tom Skippings discovered, even last night's defeat can't dampen the air of confidence at Plainmoor.
After the problems of last season, the Torquay United faithful will be hoping that the proposed £2 million revamp of Plainmoor signals the start of a brighter future. And there are signs that Don O'Riordan's first full season in charge begins amidst an air of confidence. The wage bill was fiercely trimmed over the summer after Torquay limped clear of relegation last season. After inheriting a squad short on confidence and spending money, O'Riordan has gone about stamping his authority on the club. A large influx of apprentice professionals, with young Rodri Giggs having the most to live up to, have arrived. And O'Riordan has given bad boy Mark Loram another chance to prove himself at Plainmoor.
Mark Loram is on trial, as I said, as there are probably 8 or 9 more players. And since he's been here, I can only say it's been a pleasure to work with the lad. In the next week or two, I'll be deciding whether Mark's got a future at Torquay United.
Whether that works out remains to be seen. But O'Riordan's astute dealings will have pleased Chairman Mike Bateson. The one experienced professional to join this summer is midfielder Ian Hathaway from Rotherham, signed on a free transfer, a deal which summed up O'Riordan's managerial philosophy.
I've found a player who is very high quality and costs nothing. Now, I've got quite a few trialists here at the moment, and most of them are impressing me. So I don't see the necessity to spend the money if I can bring in people who don't cost anything.
Hathaway's strike in the Devon Bowl victory at St James's Park was an encouraging sign, and the performance against Exeter City was the perfect curtain raiser for O'Riordan's side. The one major departure so far is midfielder Chris Myers, who's rejoined former boss Ivan Golak at Dundee United for £85,000. Chairman Mike Bateson was frustrated by the slowness of the deal, but can't help feeling excited about the new season.
I don't know why we bothered using faxes, because they're so slow in responding. A pigeon probably would have done it quicker. Perhaps always the same at the start of every season, full of enthusiasm, but I don't know, there's just a little bit of a different buzz about it. There's a few different players in and some promise.
So few major changes in personnel, but a sense of purpose which inevitably comes with a new season. O'Riordan's trump card is that everyone starts equal in mid-August.
Last year, when I came, every game was pressure. Now, this year, we're starting off level. Now, that should do the lads' confidence a world of good, because they finished the season strongly, and I just hope to continue in that vein.
Saturday's trip to Walsall probably won't reveal too much either way, but O'Riordan seems to have instilled a sense of direction and common aims. If that can turn itself into results, then the club's league standing may improve alongside its surroundings.
So good luck to Torquay this season.
Tonight, Torquay United come under the spotlight as they prepare for a difficult trip to Walsall. This report from Natalie Corner.
These are the chances that Torquay United can't afford to miss if they're to avoid another disastrous season. In the last campaign, they came perilously close to dropping into non-league oblivion. In the dressing room, there's no shortage of enthusiasm and determination that this season is going to be United's best for years.
I think we can push for a playoff place, really. I think it's down to injuries. If there's no injuries and we keep a good strong squad, I think we'll be up there towards the end of the season.
It's been all change at Plainmoor during the close season. Don O'Riordan's taken over as manager, and this man, striker Ian Hathaway from Rotherham, has been brought in to boost United's firepower. Keeping a close eye on the players will be Torquay's charismatic chairman, Mike Bateson.
Yeah, I think we've learnt a lot of lessons, not least that you've got to keep at it. You mustn't give up partway through a season. And the one thing we do take into this season with us, of course, the majority of the team are a year older, a year more experienced. They've lived through harrowing times.
So there's no doubt last season was one to forget. This one also promises to be an uphill struggle. But if the enthusiasm at the club can be translated into good results, United may produce a few surprises.
The spirit is the biggest strength we've got. The spirit in the club is absolutely phenomenal. Anybody who comes into the place sort of recognises it as well. So I think that's probably the biggest thing we've got going for us.
Is spirit enough to actually do well?
I don't see why not. That's what pulled us through last year, and we've got the nucleus of the same squad. So I think, yeah, if we can play the right football, obviously in the correct areas, I think we can have a half-decent season.
And a reminder, the Gulls travel to the Bescott Stadium in Walsall on Saturday with a 3 o'clock kick-off.
What sort of... After 2 wins in 2 games, Torquay United were not surprisingly in confident mood for their match with Wigan, and they should have taken an early lead through Adrian Foster, who struck the crossbar when he should perhaps have hit the target. Missed chances can prove costly, and Torquay looked to have paid the price for some first-half indiscretions when Wigan went ahead against the run of play, Neil Morton making good use of a gaping hole in the home defence. But it didn't take long for Torquay to bounce back, a neatly worked move producing the opportunity for Darren Moore to power home the equaliser. United might have wrapped up all 3 points after that, but Paul Trollope was denied by the post, and Torquay and their fans had to be content with a point.
No, I think they deserved more than a draw. I mean, they hit the crossbar and Trollope hit the post. They were unlucky with a few chances, but at the end of the day, I suppose a point's better than nothing.
Luck was against us, I think, in the end. The one which hit the inside the post and came out, 9 times out of 10, that would probably be...
With Argyle.
2 goals up after the first leg, Don O'Riordan's team had every reason to be confident. But when Dwayne Darby, back in the side for the first time this season, had 2 efforts disallowed for offside, the Plainmoor fans must have wondered if it was going to be their night. Even then, there looked to be no way back for the visitors until they were gifted a glimmer of hope early in the second half.
Well, Leroy May, it's in there, and Hereford have pulled back a goal. Matthew Lowe got himself into a tangle, and Leroy May's persistence has paid off for Hereford. Leroy May hits the goal
After that, an equaliser started to look inevitable, and it came 10 minutes from time, courtesy of two Torquay old boys. Colin Anderson was inexplicably brought down by Lee Barrow, and Derek Hall gave Lowe no chance from the spot. A stunned Torquay found themselves in a penalty shootout after extra time had left the scores unchanged. And their misery was complete after Mark Loram and Ian Hathaway had both missed, and Hereford winger Max Nicholson had buried the final spot kick to clinch a sensational victory.
Hereford with a 2-0 lead from the first leg up at Edgar Street, and it should have been plain sailing through to the second round. Our commentator at Plainmoor, Tom Skippings.
And Barrow with the ball over the top. Good work by Trollope. O'Toole picks it up. He's played the ball through for Darby. Darby's gone round the keeper. Dwayne Darby can finish. It's off the line. A scramble in the goalmouth. Hereford still haven't cleared it. The shot comes in, and in the end, it's saved by Alan Judge. Well, a real moment of anxiety in the Hereford goalmouth there. It was Adrian Foster in the end who had the final shot, which Judge grabbed onto. Thump forward. Darren Moore should be able to control this, but he's got himself into a tangle here. Here's Pike with the cross. Oh, and that's a golden opportunity. Leroy May it is on the edge of the 6-yard box. He's unmarked. O'Riordan, crunching challenge, but he still managed to get it through. The ball here in space for Derby. Dwayne Derby has scored for Torquay, and that could be the goal that books their place in round 2. But no, the whistle's gone. The referee, Mr. Cooper, has spotted an infringement. The ball came through from O'Riordan, and then it was Pat O'Toole who got it forward. Derby in space, fired it past Alan Judge, and just as the Torquay faithful were celebrating, the flag was up for offside. Hathaway to O'Riordan, down the line for Foster. Abraham behind him. Hathaway turns well away from Downs. Running into a little bit of space, Hathaway. Room opening up for him. Hathaway will try the shot. Not a bad strike either from Ian Hathaway. Good work by Curran to find Hathaway. Hathaway cuts inside the box. Can he pull it back? He's going all the way, and it's hooked off the line by a Hereford defender in the end, but lovely work again by Ian Hathaway. Hall with a hopeful shot across the face of goal. Lowe has lost it, and Leroy May could be in here. O'Riordan's back defending well. Leroy May, it's in there, and Hereford have pulled back a goal. Matthew Lowe got himself into a tangle, and Leroy May's persistence has paid off for Hereford. Leroy May hits the goal, and it's come about 15 minutes into this second half. And once again, Torquay get themselves into a tangle. They still haven't cleared it. It's gone down, and he's pointed to the spot. The referee has pointed to the spot, and Torquay have just got themselves into all sorts of difficulty there. They didn't clear it. There didn't seem to be any real danger. It's Lee Barrow who I think has given away the penalty. Derek Hall with the spot kick. And he makes no mistake. Lowe has gone the wrong way. Great scenes of jubilation for the Hereford fans. Derek Hall, the Hereford skipper, has made it 2 each on aggregate. 2-0 to Hereford on the night. That's going to fall for a shot from O'Riordan, and that was a screamer out of nothing. The ball came across the face of the penalty area, and O'Riordan, the player manager, was there to hit it first time. And so to penalties, it's still 2-2 on aggregate at the end of extra time. Mark Loram to take the first spot kick for Torquay. He's hit the post. Loram has missed the first spot kick. Loram has hit the post. Judge was beaten, but it's a disappointment for Torquay with their first effort. Mark Loram has hit the post. So Chris Pike for Hereford will take their first penalty. Boos ring around the ground. Matthew Lowe is the goalkeeper. He scored. Hereford lead 1-0 in the penalty shootout. So disappointment for Torquay will it be? Ian Hathaway will take the next spot kick for Torquay. They trail by a goal to 0. Hathaway has hit the bar, and that's disaster for Torquay.
is Colin Anderson with Hereford's second spot kick. But that's saved by Matthew Lowe to keep Torquay in it. Adrian Foster with Torquay's 5th penalty. He scored it. That makes it 3 apiece. Matt Nicholson scores this for Hereford. They are through. And he has, and Hereford are through, and Torquay are out of the Coca-Cola Cup in the first round. Incredible scenes of celebration here by the visiting side, as you would expect. They've gone through 4-3 on penalties.
The easiest thing tonight is to go in and slaughter everybody, so I wouldn't do that. I'll sit down, analyse it, look at the video, and as I say, have a chat tomorrow. As I say, we are a young team, and you've got to be careful how you approach. You want to, say, learn and take something out of this game, something positive to take into the game at Darlington on Saturday, because there's 3 points available there, and that's more important at this moment in time.
City.
Torquay United, you may remember, went to Carlisle needing to win to be certain of staying in the Football League. Well, tonight they play Carlisle again, this time at Plainmoor, knowing that another victory could take them to the top of the 3rd Division table. Well, Torquay go into tonight's game looking to maintain their unbeaten league record following Saturday's win at Darlington, where they recovered well after going behind to an 11th-minute goal from Steve Ball. A quickly taken Donna Reardon free kick allowed Dwayne Darby to mark his first league game of the season with the equaliser. And Torquay's second-half pressure paid off when Darby set up Kevin Hodges for a late winner, which was enough to lift Torquay to 2nd place in the table. Player-manager
season, and Torquay came desperately close to going to the top of the table, as Martin Dean reports.
Torquay United's happy knack of uncovering talented teenagers paid off again at Plainmoor last night as 19-year-old defender Nick Burton marked his debut with a splendid strike to put United in front on the half hour. But that goal was their only reward for dominating the opening 45 minutes. And having weathered the initial storm, Carlisle came steadily back into things as the game wore on. Goalkeeper Matthew Lowe did his best to keep Torquay in the game, but when the equaliser came in injury time, Lowe had to shoulder much of the blame as his missed punch presented Steve Gallimore with the simplest of opportunities. Last night
staged one of the comebacks of the season to preserve their unbeaten league record. Martin Dean reports.
You could be forgiven for thinking that Torquay United like to do things the hard way. After opening up their defence to allow Steve Brown to put Colchester ahead from a long clearance, they then left a glaring gap for Steve McGavin to make it 2 goals in as many minutes with the simplest of headers. Worse was to come as United finally buckled in the face of some early second-half pressure, and Chris Curran turned Nicky Smith's cross into his own net. Torquay were down and seemingly out. But then, in true boys' own comic tradition, it was time to send on the hero, in the form of super sub Adrian Foster.
Foster may try the shot himself if he can wake up the room. And Adrian Foster pulls one back for Torquay United.
Reardon then with a free kick.
And that's number 2 for Adrian Foster. He certainly had some influence on this game since he came on. Lovely little chip free kick from Donna Reardon. And Adrian Foster getting on the end of that one.
Lowe hitting a long ball forward, aimed towards Hodges. Now Reardon. Hathaway with the little chip into the box.
Trollope, Foster, and that's his hat-trick. And Adrian Foster pulled his shirt off to celebrate, as well he might. What a comeback by Torquay United.
We were 3-0 down, dead and buried. I've had a chance, made it 3-1, and I just took my other 2 chances, you know, as a striker would. You know, not even worrying that we were 3-1 down. Just took my chances, made it 3-0.
You seemed fairly pleased, to say the least, when you were celebrating afterwards, shirt off and everything.
Yeah, I've gone to the fans, made it 3-3. I did get booked for it, actually. The ref said I took my shirt off and I was wasting time, so I got booked for that, which I think when we go and get booked in a game, we get £100 off the chairman, and I've let the lads in with £100.
He parted company with both Mark Loram and Pat O'Toole today. Loram was offered another month's trial at Plainmoor but turned it down, and the club couldn't agree terms with O'Toole. Torquay are at Gillingham tomorrow, and striker Adrian Foster's an odds-on favourite for a place in the starting line-up this time after scoring a hat-trick when he came on as substitute last week.
United also found themselves having to come from behind at Gillingham as Nick Forster waltzed round Chris Curran to put the home side in front. But having looked the more impressive side throughout, United clawed their way back into the game 10 minutes into the second half when Paul Trollope headed home. 10 minutes later, it was 2-1, as Steve Banks failed to hold a Lee Barrow cross and Adrian Foster stroked the ball home for his 4th goal in the last 2 games. But that should have been enough to settle it. But 14 minutes from time, Scott Colcombe was judged to have fouled Gary Micklewhite in the box. Richard Green's penalty struck the post before going in, but United can draw some comfort from the fact that they're still unbeaten in the league. Plainmoor certainly isn't a place for the faint-hearted these days. Mike Conroy's early strike set the pattern for what turned out to be another action-packed afternoon. Once again, it was